Thanks for tuning in to a different kind of episode here on the Boudoir Guild. For those of you who know me from the Photogs Unite days, you might remember I had a podcast. We did about 100 episodes, all very interesting interview style shows, mostly. They were all interesting. Most of them were interviews. And the whole idea of that show was to interview people outside of the photography industry, because as soon as we stick to the echo chamber of our own industry, we're only recycling the same ideas, and we're really robbing ourselves the opportunity to learn how other creative people are growing their business. And business is business no matter what we're doing. Whatever the product or service is, it's all basically the same thing. And so that's what I want to bring back to this channel are more interviews. I will have photographers on here, but I really want to stick to non-photographers and talk about business. My other promise is so many interviews that I've seen are like 40 minutes long, let's say, and the first 25 minutes are just, how are you feeling today? What is your backstory? What is your kid's favorite transformer? I don't know, but none of it is relevant to what the actual episode is about. So if I have videos where I tell you, I'm going to teach you about marketing, we're going to talk about marketing. This isn't going to be like a food blogger where you have to scroll down 37 pages to learn how to steam broccoli. I promise that's not what any of this is going to be. I don't want to make that. You don't want to listen to that. So that said, we can move forward. And I am so stoked to introduce our first guest, Kate De Palma of Scented Design. Kate makes these badass candles that I give out to all of my clients after their IPS sessions, their image reveals. We do different seasonal scents. I'm going to hold it up as if you can smell it. This one is apple spice. I keep that one by my desk. And Kate, you are brand new to the business world, right?
Yeah, no training, all just learning as I go.
So what were you doing to make a living 1 year ago today?
I was an 8th grade English teacher.
And did you ever think that you were going to be going into business for yourself?
No, never.
You think that now, even though you're doing it?
It surprises me every day.
So at what point did you feel ready to leave your job and dive into this adventure?
Well, that's an interesting question because I still don't feel ready many days of my journey, but I would say it was also a long time coming in a way, because when I started the business, I started it back in 2016, and I had heard it takes 5 years, for a business to grow, and I didn't believe it. I'm like, I can't take the leap. It's not going as well as I had hoped. I got to keep the 9 to 5 or 7 to 3 or whatever we worked. And so I don't know, but I would say I kind of since COVID, I felt motivated to no, let's do this. Let's make life what I want it to be and take the leap.
Yeah. And so you had no prior training to do any of this.
So I can write, but
right. So that was one of the big things that I wanted to go over. Rather than ask you 25 minutes on your backstory, we can just establish, look how quick that was, everybody. You didn't go to school for this. You don't have an MBA. You don't come from a manufacturing and distribution background. And you worked a full-time job while you figured out how to do this.
Yes.
Like all of us do, right? No, I don't know that the many people who actually went to photography school end up as photographers, because one, they don't teach you business. They'll teach you how to develop film, which doesn't really serve anyone anymore. But it doesn't tell you how to actually pay for the education that you just got, which I think is borderline theft. So being where you are, do you wish you would have gone to school to learn any of this?
No, maybe. I think if I'd gone to school, it would have been an entirely different path, and I wouldn't be running the business that I'm running, because my business was born out of heart and something I love to do, rather than, hey, I'm going to start a business.
Do you think those have to be separate things?
No, I mean, ideally, you're in business in something you love. But I just think about if I'd gone like to school for a business degree, and then I would know a lot of the business stuff that I don't know now, and that would make life easier as far as the business side of things. But I just don't think it would be a different business. It wouldn't be a craft business necessarily, because I started it because I liked candles and making candles. So I think it would make some of the road easier because I'm learning as I go, but I think the journey has been really valuable. So I don't know.
But there's no way to ever know, right? Because you're on the path that you're on, and it just make the most of what you got. And to wish you had done things differently or think about other ways you could have got to where you are doesn't really serve you.
No, not at all. Like I think about what if I'd left teaching sooner? How much further could the business be along? But same thing, I wouldn't have, who knows? And would I have done things differently? And would it have been as successful? I don't know. Right.
Or maybe you would have like run out of money and got burnt out and gone back to teaching and then swore off ever trying this again.
Right. Because there were parts of teaching I absolutely loved. And it was a hard choice to give those parts up for this. But yeah, you have to try. You never know.
But now you get to spend your Tuesday morning with me instead.
I'm delighted. So thank you for having me.
So one of the biggest breakthroughs that I've seen with you was the transition from I make candles and I'm trying to make money to I am a business owner who happens to make candles. What did that feel like getting to that point? Or what's changed since?
It itself was so liberating to realize that I'm not defined by the product. I'm creating the business. I'm creating the brand. It can be whatever I want it to be. Like you said, I happen to make candles. That happens to be the thing. I continue to realize that often, just with social media and showing up on social media, for example. It's not about the product photos. It's about me. It's about my journey as a business owner. So it continues to evolve, but it has made the difference. I think that's what led me to make the leap to do it full time, realizing that people are business owners everywhere. I can do this. It's not, hey, I'm trying to sell candles.
Right.
I'm going to run a business.
Yep. That's so cool.
Thank you. And you've been around to see the evolution, so that's cool too.
So also, by the way, this time of year, pumpkin ale comes out everywhere. So I am absolutely having one right now at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. Because when you start your own business, folks, you decide your own schedule. And if I want to do a half day today, which hasn't started yet, I guess this is the start of my half day today. But I'm going to have a pumpkin ale because that makes me happy, feeds my soul, and I don't know, puts me in a great, not that I need to drink to have fun with you, but enjoy fall things. It's been 1,000,000 degrees out. We got some rain this weekend. I'm loving what we've got right now. It finally feels like fall. And to me, that's the same as realizing you're a business owner, not someone who's making the product. So one of the things I always recommend to the listeners out there is to read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And I think, Kate, I've chatted with you about this also. And there's basically 3 roles in a business. You have the entrepreneur, you have the manager, and you have the technician. We all start as technicians. We're the one doing the thing, the one taking the photos, editing the photos, making the social media post, all the day-to-day work, because most of us were trained as employees, and that's just what you do. You go, you do the tasks that need to get done throughout the day. But you also need a manager to make sure that the tasks are getting done properly and getting done in accordance with the goals of the business. But you don't know what those are unless you have the entrepreneur who can define all of that. And you need to be all 3. Well, let me rephrase that. All 3 of those roles need to be filled in your company. And that's what differentiates the business owner from, the photographer. Those are not the same thing. You don't have to be the one doing all of those things. That is, I think, the biggest misconception. They have to get done, but you don't have to be the one doing them. outsourcing is a big one. I know I held on to editing for the first 11 years of my business. It's so rare I even open Photoshop nowadays, and it's so liberating. My social media content, somebody writes all of that. My emails, somebody writes all of that. And as the business owner, I make sure they're on brand, they're resonating. We track the numbers. Well, somebody else tracks the numbers and reports them to me. And then we talk about what that means, because I don't want to be the one doing that. I hate that stuff. So it never got done. All these holes in my business are now being filled by other people so that I can take a half day and have a beer and chat with Kate. I just played a round of disc golf this morning. I hurt everywhere because I need a day off from that. But I'm like living my best life over here. Whereas a year and a half ago, I was in the hospital from a burnout because I refused to let go of any of that stuff. And Kate, you are also outsourcing so many things right now, which I'm so excited about. What are some of those things?
I have started outsourcing website stuff management. You can tell I'm not a techie person. Website stuff.
You're doing great.
SEO, website design, management, maintenance, all that. My photography, for the longest time, I was trying to do my own photos. And if you look at where I started and where I got to, I did improve, but getting my photos done. Social media, I just spoke with someone this week. She's going to take over all my social media management.
Awesome.
I am, and there's still other things too. Like I've identified, I definitely need, someone to help me with administrative stuff. So virtual assistant, like online business manager, that's kind of my next thing. And I do have someone who helps me with production and packaging and shipping. And that has been a game changer, because that is not something I needed to do. And I was doing it for so long, in part because I didn't have the space. I was working out of my home for a long time and I didn't really want someone in my house. So getting out of there, getting into a studio made a difference. So I was able to hand that over as well.
You're in your new studio right now, right?
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yes, coming to you from the new Candle Studio. So
watching your construction journey on Instagram has made me so thankful that I'm done with my own.
It was kind of fun. I didn't mind it. That was not something I outsourced everything. It was fun to have a weekend project to do.
Yeah.
Paint the walls and stuff.
And it's done.
It's done.
You got your blinds up.
I know. Heat wave, seriously, that was so necessary. Sun and wax do not mix.
Right? Yeah. So now that you've outsourced all of those things, like how does that feel with your ability to connect to your audience? Like, do you think that you're so detached now that it doesn't feel like your business anymore?
No, not at all. It feels like I have the time and the space and the brain power to actually connect more and reach out and engage with them in ways I wasn't able to, and I'm constantly scrambling to fill orders.
Right? Because when you can actually do the things that you wanted to do, like make the candles you want to make and talk to the people you want to talk to, you can, because everything else is getting done by somebody else.
Yeah. It's great. My hours are so much more reasonable now.
You have time off to be with your husband and to like sleep, right?
I don't work weekends anymore. That was for the longest time. Like I would wake up Saturday morning and think, okay, what do I need to do on the business today? Mm-hmm. And I sign off Friday, maybe early on Friday, go to happy hour, and yeah, I'm not working weekends, and that is wonderful.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing with photographers, because we get into it wanting to take photos and connect with people. But then we get caught up in the social media management and needing to build an email list. And I'm going to tinker with my website because I haven't updated my photos in 12 minutes. And all of these things that make us feel like we're busy, like we're productive. And whenever you talk to somebody who's a business owner, like, how are you doing? They're like, oh man, so busy. That used to be like, wow, high five, congratulations, I'm so stoked for you. But now, like now that we're in it, it's like, I don't want to be busy. That's not a sign of success. And one thing that I learned from my mentor was that the most successful people are the most available, because they've gotten to that point where everything is under control. Other people are doing most of the work and they're just making sure the machine continues to run. in the direction that it needs to run. And that to me like blew my mind. It's why I could reach out to, I don't know, CEOs of household name companies and just, I don't know, ask to talk to them. And they're like, sure, how about Thursday at 4? I'm like, great. Also, why are you talking to me? I'm nobody to you, you know, but they're available. And if somebody reaches out to them wanting to learn how they do what they do, they'll share it. And the ones that are too busy are the ones who aren't there yet. And those aren't the ones that you want to be learning from anyway. So what's the next step for you?
The next step, well, I have a busy all of a sudden isn't good. Full fall and holiday season. It's the busiest time of year for me for candles. And one of the newest things I've been doing, which you actually helped me kick off, is the whole private label branding of a candle for other business owners to use as client gifts. So I've been doing a lot of that, as well as kind of bigger corporate events. They've been reaching out to me for their fall get together or for a holiday celebration. And I know there's going to be a bunch of those for holidays too. So continuing to expand, and even that's scalable for me, being able to do the bulk corporate orders and get all those shipped out at once versus the individual. It's a different beast, but I've really been enjoying doing that.
Right. And that brings up an excellent point. You're working with fewer clients who are spending more money with you now, instead of like the individual one-off orders from Etsy or the craft fairs or anything else like that. Do you feel guilty about making more money doing less work?
No, and I do still love the individual connections, because that is, you meet the people, you talk to them, they rave about my candles, and they buy them for all their friends. So you can't be mad at that. But as far as what's scalable for the business, no, I don't feel bad about that at all.
Good. You shouldn't. And that's the thing, right? Because you're a business owner, and the number one role of a business is to make money. And that's like the blood of the business. The business will die without blood, just like we will. So you have to continue to put money into the business and end up with more money than you had previously. And this is a thing that a lot of photographers struggle with, because maybe we got started shooting for friends for free, or this other photographer is so much better than me. How could I charge money when people would rather just go to that person? I mean, shoot, anyone can go onto Amazon or into any mall or Target or whatever store and buy candles, but they continue to go to you. And you're not the cheapest candles in town, but that's not stopping anyone from buying your candles.
Right. So.
Because you're not competing on price.
No, I'm not. And I don't think I need to.
I love how you say that. You're like, why would I? Right? Because it's not about that.
No, it's about the quality and the people, the real people behind a product versus a giant corporation. You're shopping values, you're shopping with heart, and that's one of the things I wanted to do with Scented Designs. Especially, I used to sell at all the in-person craft markets where you do get to see people face to face and meet them and talk to them. And when I shifted to online and to kind of this new model I have, I still wanted that to matter. I still wanted me and the person behind the table at the craft fair to matter. So that's kind of what I'm continuing to promote, is woman-owned business, handmade in California, like high quality soy wax and oils going into it. So if those matter to you, then you're my customer, and everyone else isn't. And that's something you learn too as you build the business, right? If someone doesn't buy into what you're selling, then they weren't your client customer anyway.
Yeah.
They're not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah, because somebody else right behind them will be.
Yeah.
And an overwhelming majority of the world doesn't want what we do. Like a significant number of people want nothing to do with us. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to service all those people. It's like dating. Like, how chaotic would it be if everyone was attracted to everyone? That would be madness, right? Thankfully, we're not like that. And it allows us to manage relationships and function. Business is the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about Nicholas for a second.
Okay.
I did his photography. He runs a really cool business, which most people wouldn't associate his type of business with being really cool. It's a funeral home. And not just because I love all things spooky. In fact, his place is the opposite of spooky. It is the least spooky place that you could imagine for a funeral home. It's brightly lit. It looks like a Pottery Barn catalog, honestly.
I want to take photos of my candles in there. Like, that's how nice it is.
Right? Everything in there looks like a home. Maybe I'll have him on for another one of these and we can chat all about that. That would be a great chat. Anyway, so you are offering candles now, or making candles for him.
Yes.
So tell us about that. Like, what is the function of the candle? Like, why does he want them?
So Nicholas and I had talked and decided I would create candles for him kind of for two reasons. One is they too wanted to give a client gift for, thank you for trusting us. This is a difficult time in your life, obviously. Thank you for trusting us. And they had something they were already giving as gifts. They would give a bottle of wine from a local winery, which is fabulous, except not everyone drinks wine. Or even you drink the wine and then the bottle's gone, and it was a nice gift, but maybe a gift can do more than that. So a candle, the fact that you can burn the candle for 50, 60 hours serves, I guess, two purposes. One is, of course, it's nice having a candle lit in your home. It's comforting. It's, relaxing. It's all these good vibes in a time when maybe, you're struggling. So it's great for the client. And then there's the other side of it too, where it's with Nicholas's Darling Fisher branding on it. I think you're the one who said it's a candle with your brand burning in your home for X number of hours. And so it's just kind of a great marketing tool too. So it, serves two purposes essentially. But we did he sampled all the different scents that I make. He chose one, kind of a relaxing one. He chose lavender. He chose a more uplifting one, a citrus agave, and then he's doing some seasonal ones too. So kind of playing to what might that person need in that moment. I believe they have them. I've seen them out in their lobby in this cabinet, and I think the client gets to choose which one they like and which one they're feeling in that moment, and that's kind of cool to have that option, which I don't think he necessarily had before.
No, yeah, I like the wine idea, but it's so much more personal. Because it's warm, it's inviting, it's comforting, it makes the home feel like home. And if somebody in your life is no longer there, having this warmth in your home obviously doesn't make up for that, but it sure adds to your situation.
Right. So
that you cannot buy at Target.
Yeah. Yep. That is 100%.
Right. And that's why you're not competing on price, because you're not selling laundry detergent scented candles that people can give because they have to give a coworker a gift. You are giving someone the opportunity to connect with other people and to make their home a better place.
And I love that. And I love that it doesn't matter what business you're running. You can be a photographer. You can own a funeral home. I've started working with all sorts of chiropractors and, anyone who's looking to connect with the people they work with in a unique way. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And that's what we're selling. So photographers, it's not about the photos. Somebody might be better than you, whatever that means, because we're all different artists. We all are doing this differently. No one can compete with you. You're your only competition. The things that you offer somebody, it's not even about the photos. Like, that's just the souvenir that they take home after the experience. It's the way you made them feel, the courage to actually come out and do the photo shoot, the ability to like brag to their friends or show their lover like how great they feel in their own skin now. Like this is magic, and that's what we're giving people. when I started getting referrals from clients after the photo shoot, before they'd even seen the photos, like it made no sense to me. I'm like, but what if the photos aren't good? Why would you send your friends this way? Like, what if I'm terrible? But it didn't even matter because the way they felt when they left the shoot, by the time they saw the photos, like they were already sold. They bought everything because it reminded them of how they felt during the photo shoot. And that is how I've approached my business the whole time. I had a maternity session many years ago, went out and did the shoot. Right after their image reveal, she goes into labor and they couldn't come to my studio to pick up their prints. So I drove to their apartment to drop them off, and like brought me in, met the dog, met the baby, and like I was like welcomed into their family. And I was just some stranger they'd found on the internet to photograph them in a field, you know, but it was so much more than that. And she's crying and she's had, you know, they already had a spot on their mantle. They hung up this big picture. It wasn't even a family photo. It was her in this flowing dress flapping in the wind with the sunset. It was a freaking gorgeous photo, but it was only her, you know, despite the thought that they would be hanging up family photos, or at least the couple, something. But she said it was such a negative time in her life, everything that she had to go through during this pregnancy, that's how she wanted to remember it. I'm like, oh man, like, okay, no pressure here. Like, this is really what I'm doing. I got to up my game. But like, that is what's motivated me and why I don't feel guilty charging what I do, because I know that it's not about taking photos of people. It's about the way they feel afterward. Just like we talked about here with the candles. And same, like I keep these out in my studio underneath the TV where we do the reveals. And I don't know, maybe a third of the time when my clients come in, they're like, are those candles? I'm like, hold up, we'll get to that at the end. But everyone sees these and they want to know what they are and they love them. And clients reach out and they're like, oh man, my candle, do I have to wait till my next photo shoot to get another one from you? I'm like, no, just come by and pick one up. I'll give you another candle. Right. And like we talked about, it's like 50 hours of marketing in somebody's home. It's not a Facebook ad. It's not a flyer. It's not a fridge magnet or a bumper sticker. It's something that adds warmth to their life. And it's got your name on it right there. And now that's what they associate you with. Mm-hmm. You can't beat that.
And throw scent in too, the power of scent and associations, not just with you, but again, with that experience, with how you felt in that moment. They're going to have that too, which is cool.
And you're not just pouring them in like hipster mason jars. You have cool custom labels that you made up, and you know, you source these custom jars for me twice.
Supply chain is real.
We had these amazing jars picked up. Kate found these amazing jars. I told her I want all black everything, and I got custom labels with silver foil. Everything had to be matte black because that's my brand. Well, not a lot of candles are made in black jars. No. These might be the only ones.
And then you didn't want a wood lid; it had to be a metal lid. Like, so yeah, the specifications. It took a lot to find it, and then when it was discontinued or delayed or whatever you want to call it,
right? Yeah, we ordered one batch, and then the next time you're like, well.
And I felt terrible. It's the first time I was like working with another business owner, like trying to create something for them. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know what I made for you and you loved. I can't do that anymore. But that also a valuable lesson. The way I handle supplies, that I've learned to do better with that.
So let's chat about that. Like my album company couldn't get materials for the covers for almost 2 months. I normally do a 2 to 3 week turnaround. I had some take 6 to 8 weeks this summer, which is not ideal. How do you handle situations like that when you have to tell somebody?
I tell them. It's funny because this actually happened with candles I made for Nicholas this summer because he had placed a reorder. Everyone was loving the citrus agave, and it's a really good scent. And I thought I had plenty of the oils I needed to make it, and I didn't. And it was back ordered for like a month. And I was going out of town because it's summer and I like to travel. And I let him know, and I'm just like, hey, I'm really sorry. Here's what I can get for you now. So kind of, you know, it's not all bad news. Here's what I can have for you. And then I'm really sorry. And people, I think it's just giving people credit. Like, again, they're working with me because I'm a person, I'm local, I'm real, I'm a small business owner. Like, they get it. They're not expecting Amazon Prime 2-day turnaround. And so when you're real with them and like, hey, sorry, it's supply chain, he was totally cool about it. He's like, I get it, not a problem, don't worry about it. So
Yeah.
I've been lucky. I haven't yet had it happen where there was any major fallout. People are understanding, and again, they're choosing to work with me, and I think they know that I'm going to face challenges that major retailers, major distribution places maybe aren't.
Yeah.
Or maybe they will. Like, who knows?
But that also goes, speaks for your brand and your character, because that's the business that you've built. That's the kind of person that you've attracted and that you work with. Where if somebody else doesn't share those same values, you probably wouldn't be working with them in the first place.
Yeah, no, that's true. And again, the relationship building, like when I met with Nicholas the first time, like, we had drinks at his house. I met his kids. Like, he sampled all the candles. Like, we talked about life and, so I think you're right. The people I attract, never mind that you referred me to him. So clearly there's something happening there with, who the kind of person you're attracting to. But the relationships, that's the foundation. And then if stuff happens, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't pay attention to what time we started. I think we're about a half hour in. So let's just go over a couple more things. Marketing and referrals, working with other local businesses. As we just talked about, like I've sent you Nicholas and like introduced you to Isaac and Nicole and like different people. And not that like I'm trying to take credit for things, but like this is the magic of working with other small business owners that you vibe with and that you like actually hang out with also, is that you want to share the cool people in your life with other cool people and like bring these circles together. And like having the taco parties at my house, and like you hung with Emily and like Monina and Michelle, and it's great opportunities to then, you work with Nicholas, who could then introduce you to people. And just as you said, it's building relationships. Do you have systems in place to facilitate new referral relationships?
System? I wouldn't call it a system. I've gotten a lot of referrals, and I completely agree with you about building relationships among small business owners, especially locally. But I mean, right now, that's something I'm still handling, where if you tell me about someone, I'll reach out to them. I don't have a great system in place yet.
Do you ask for referrals?
Huh. Do I? I do, like with individuals, just like, yeah, tell your friends, write me a review, that kind of thing. But I'm trying to think if I've done it with businesses. I'm a member of a business like mastermind where kind of it's understood that we're referring each other, and
Like a BNI thing?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
What is that?
BNI, but Business Networking International. They're like
Maybe,
local.
yeah, I mean, it's a local, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that could be another great opportunity, is to just like reach out and ask people, do you know of other businesses who might want custom candles to share with their own clients? Because, which I think is going to go into our next topic, like business owners, like we have to form circles and like hang out together, because no one gets what we do unless you're in it.
True.
So just having those conversations and asking for it, because maybe they have other people that just didn't think about it.
I think it feels at this point like I've not ever had to ask, which is a silly thing to say, because I'm sure, like you said, they would have plenty of people to refer. But up to this point, everyone's been so generous about sharing and wanting it. wanting the labels that I haven't had to do that outreach. But as I continue to scale and am able to take on more, which is definitely the direction I want to be headed, I think then there's going to be a lot of room for that kind of referral. Yeah, which would make a lot of sense.
So when you started outsourcing, I want to backtrack sort of a little bit here. It all costs money, right? Everything from the website to SEO to social media to all of it. You have to pay somebody else to do the thing that you've been doing for free. It wasn't free. It cost you time away from everything else in your life. How long did it take before you felt like you'd made the right choice?
In general, I would say it took years. More it's the mindset, and I'd say I've had, even in the last week, kind of this mindset shift, because I'd done it's about branding and whether or not I was going to invest in some like a branding workshop, and it's that invest versus spend. I'm investing in the business, not just spending money. That was a huge mindset shift, and just this is what needs to happen. It's not unusual. I can't just hoard the money in the bank account. That's not gonna help. So it took a while. I would say the first one I did was SEO. That was the first thing I started paying money for. And that's something that takes a while to see results.
It's a long game,
yeah, right away. So that one was hard, where you're not seeing the results right away. Kind of, did I make the right decision? Did I not? And just you see over time that you do, but I think it's hard to come to terms with the money you're spending when the money is not coming right back in.
Yep. Which is so funny to me, because people will put money into a 401k or a mutual fund, which investment is a whole other episode to do. The promised returns are never what they are, and it's such a long game before you can get anything out of it. But when it comes to investing in the business, they're like, I can't spend any money on that. Like, what if it doesn't work? It's like, I don't know. What if the market crashes and you lose your 401k? What if that financial manager makes a mistake or gets paid by somebody else to do this other thing, and you're out the money anyway? Like, none of it was ever in your control. The only things that we can control are what we do in our own business. And as you said, it's investing versus spending, because if you do it right, you know you're going to get the money back plus a bunch more.
And realizing that, having faith in the process, those are all key. And I still struggle with it sometimes, because how many people do I want to hire to help me with the business this holiday season kind of thing?
Yeah.
And I was having the conversation in a strategy meeting about, no, it's worth it, because even if I'm spending $200 paying this person to wrap up the candles for me, here's all the things I can do in the meantime that are more valuable.
Yeah. So, if you can generate $201 with that time, it's worth it.
But that, I would say, it's a big shift, because when you first start out as a business owner, especially if it's like a side hustle and it's taking up all this time, like, the mindset is you want to eke out as much money as possible. Like, you want your margins to be as good as possible for the product, for me. And that's not, like, that works for a very small period of time when you're getting started. And after that, it doesn't matter if I'm making, $2 a candle versus $1.50 a candle, if I can produce so many more candles. Like, the volume makes the difference. So letting go of, I have to make as much as possible on the thing,
right,
to actually like run it as a business and realize that that's not how you're going to grow.
Yeah, right. It's like, look at the end of the month numbers, not the end of the candle numbers.
Yes, exactly. Yep. 100%. I like how you said that.
You trademark that right now? No.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you wanted to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Did you ask me if I'm loving being a badass businesswoman? Because I am.
You're still doing it, so I figured you were.
That's true. I haven't gone back to teaching. So Yeah, no, things are great. I'm enjoying the business owner lifestyle, and there are hard days. It's not all easy.
Yeah.
It's going well. So, no, I'm good.
And having a support system around you is so crucial. And one of the things that most business owners don't do is surround themselves with other business owners, like we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, because your friends, if they're not a business owner, they don't get it. Your spouse, if they're not a business owner, they don't get it. They may love you, they may want the best for you, they may try as hard as they can to support you, but if they don't run a business, they don't get it. And their advice might be coming from a great place, but it's opinion and not counsel. And this was another big lesson I learned from my mentor is opinion comes from someone who's never done the thing. Counsel comes from someone who has done the thing. So when you're venting at the end of a long, busy week because something didn't go well, and your significant other is giving you suggestions on how to make things better, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. But having someone that you can vent to who gets it, and then they're going to be like, is this a systems thing? Is this a mindset thing? Is this something you want to work on, or do you just want to vent? And I've got a couple friends who always start the call like that. I'm like, cool. I know I made the right phone call. This is why these people are in my life. Many other reasons. But you have to start hanging out with business owners, not just people who were neat before.
Agreed. It's like when I was teaching. I mean, you had to talk to a teacher to get it. So same idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this was a big thing in my life, is learning what roles different people play in my life. You know, I've got my friends that I've had for a long time. We go do fun stuff. I love them dearly. I don't talk about business with them. I don't, it's just a different life, a different world. And then I have my business friends that kind of, when we sit down, all we talk about is business, and we love it. And it feels like we're just hanging out like I do with my other friends. It's just the conversations are an entirely different context. Same energy otherwise, though. And then just keeping those things separate. And same thing goes with significant others, you know, unless I'm dating somebody who's in the entrepreneurship world, we just don't talk business because they don't know what I'm going through. So being able to set boundaries and recognize those things is going to make everything so much easier. Your friends are going to like you a lot more if you're not just talking about conversion rates and margins with them. They're like, can we just watch the football game?
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
People can find me online, www.centerdesigns.com. And I continue to grow my wholesale. So you might stumble across me in some store sometime in the Bay Area or beyond. But right now, that's kind of the best place because you can do all the things there. You can shop with me directly, or if you're looking for client gifts, or even wholesale, if you're a retailer and looking to shop wholesale, it's all there. I have all the different things. Thanks to Nicole, all the things on the website.
And Isaac.
And Isaac, yep.
Yep. I know. I didn't have both of them on. They're both in the Boudoir Guild. Isaac did a whole training in the guild about SEO and website building. Nice. And then Nicole, we've done them on social media management and email marketing. So if you want to go take deep dives with SEO and all the things that they do, those episodes are magic. We dive so deep onto those things. I should have them on here also for some interviews.
For sure.
Yep. So yeah, I'll put the Senate Designs link down below. And again, like I cannot say enough amazing things about these. I know I got the custom labels made, but the black jars are perfect. And I also love just sitting on your porch with you once a season as we pick out the next scents.
Yeah.
So I've got fall, spring, summer, and winter scents that we do. And you know, I can just send my orders in when I need them. But seriously, photographers at home, like these are such a powerful marketing tool, because okay, we do the reveal. Client like writes me a check, swipes their card for, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And then while the receipt is printing, I look over and go, by the way, do you like candles? And everyone goes, yeah, I love candles. I've only had one person say, no, not really. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I just went and got her the receipt. I didn't even mention that I had these. I'm like, you don't get one of those.
You won't appreciate it.
Exactly. But like literally everybody else is like, yeah, I love them. They're my favorite. And I'm like, cool. So I got these custom candles made. And at this point, everyone's like, well, of course you did, because everything you have is custom handmade sourced from somewhere. It's all ridiculous. And I'm like, cool. So I got like 4 different scents. Tell me which one you like, and I'll grab one for you. And they're just like smelling everything and going back and forth and like rearranging them on the table. It's a whole ordeal. But now they're all excited about this thing. Well, I go get their receipt and their USB drive of prints, and it keeps them occupied also while I'm doing this other stuff, so they can leave with, you know, the branded gift bag with the candle and a pen and their receipt and their USB drive of images and stuff. So it serves a functional purpose during the reveal to get them excited again after spending a ton of money, which, I mean, they were excited to spend that anyway, but to immediately distract them from the fact that they just swiped a card for $5,000. And then they get to leave again with something tangible. They don't have to wait for the album or the prints, whatever. They go home with this, and it instantly makes their home a better place, which is what I want my photos to feel like when they put them up on the walls. Mm-hmm. So there's so many reasons that these candles are magic, and I can't imagine doing this without them. So
that is
okay, get some candles made. And this just turned into a commercial for Senate Designs.
Yeah, well, it didn't. Even if you don't get candles, you should. Mike's awesome, so hook up with him too.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I can't wait to come by and see your new studio.
Absolutely. You can smell the candles in here this time. You don't have to be relegated to the porch.
Well, it's nice out. I kind of want to sit outside now.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll do both.
Back some pumpkin ale, perhaps.
Deal.
All right.
Awesome.
You bring the beer. I got the candles.
Cheers.
All right. Take care.